Welcome to your Mind Body Magic module on healing movement. So, we've already learnt so much about how the nervous system works, and hopefully by now we already know that to ask a stressed out nervous system, to ask a nervous system which is sitting in fight or flight or in that racing driver mode, to ask any human being or any animal, to be fair, when they are in that state, to be still, when the entire state, your entire being, every part of your physicality and your physiology, the chemicals inside your body and your emotional state, everything is asking for mobilization. So to ask someone in that state to sit still is really unfair. And it's no wonder sitting still in silence and quiet can feel so stressful, so fidgety, so frustrating. You can feel so restless. It's going to feel really uncomfortable. And we actually add to our stress load when we're sitting still, if we're not ready for it. If we're coming into stillness from ventral vagal, that's a whole different story. But remember that the vast majority of us are living our lives, rushing around, and we're slipping into the racing driver mode and back out again quite often throughout the day, which is fine because this is all about the fluidity of the states. Our comeback rate is a bit that we're interested in and in improving anyway. But if you are asking yourself and you're not sure what state you're in to sit still, it might be too uncomfortable for your system. So at the heart of Exhale, we are all about providing an alternative form of healing and of meditation rather than having that traditional practice of lotus position legs, straight back, totally still, not even allowed to move a muscle to itch your nose or your bottom or whatever it is. Okay, so moving slowly and intentionally, so we have that slow mobilization with an internal focus, that's important. Provide some movement and some respite to the system. And the movement in time relaxes and releases tense, taut muscles. It deepens and lengthens the breath. And all of that together is going to send a message of safety to your nervous system so that you can then move into ventral vagal. From that point, if you then wanted to add in periods of stillness and silence, go for your life. Okay, but this module is all about how using movement can create a deep healing experience on its own. And it can allow your meditation to be much deeper if we precede stillness and static meditation with moving meditation. So it can be a meditation on its own. It can be a healing practice on its own, or it can precede traditional meditation to allow you to go more deep with your meditation. And when we practice movement in this way, some can call this somatic movement. And somatic movement is basically any sequence of movement that's performed slowly and consciously with the intention of focusing on the internal experience of the movement. That's how we make it meditative. By focusing not on what's happening outside, not about what our movement looks like, not about how bendy we are like we might do in yoga, not looking at what the person next to you is doing and trying to keep up or exceed if you've got a competitive mind like mine. But this is looking at ourselves and how the movement feels within us, or even to the point of noticing what muscles are working, where there's tension, where there's tightness, where there's softness, where is the fluidity. So in order for the movement to be effective and healing, the movement also has to be performed really slowly. But you can work at your own pace as well. So for some people, will need to go faster than others, because it depends how stressed you are when you're coming into that situation. The more stressed you feel, the quicker and the bigger range of movement you're going to need to put in at the beginning. Okay, so the movement must be performed consciously and with your complete focus as far as is humanly possible. Remember, the mind is going to wander, and that's absolutely okay. But we also want to have this beginner's mind when we start working with a different part of the body or a different movement sequence, or every time you come to the mat or every time you move your body with this intention. We want to come with this, not a set of expectations about how the body's going to feel. Somatic movement, in order for it to be healing, we need to be open to possibility. So feeling different things on different days. So having this curious approach to it, like looking for differences rather than expecting the same result each time, because each day we're going to feel different. Each day different things are going to come to the surface. Each day our bodies are going to work on a different level. You might be more tense one day, more relaxed one day. You might have pain one day where you didn't have it before. Okay, so why is movement so powerful? Well, basically, the body, just like the nervous system, has its own unique language. And the body is seeking to tell us what is going on for us at any given point. So the body can actually tell us what we're currently experiencing or feeling. We know that when we see somebody that we love, or we get and some exciting news, and we know that our heart rate increases, our breathing rate increases, for example. But on top of that, the body will also tell us where we have blocked, suppressed, or not processed emotion, because each part of the body is physically and emotionally connected to the nervous system. So every part of the body is connected to the nervous system in a physical way. So we have those paths of nerves which transmit all the information from our organs and from different parts of our body all the way up to the nervous system, so it can make those decisions around how we should be thinking, feeling, and behaving. And we know through that it has an emotional link as well. But I want you to think about this now as your body as a map. So there'll be different parts of the body that link to different parts of emotions and different feelings and different memories. And what can happen is when we experience fear, for example, or a heightened emotion through a physical or emotional or real or imagined threat, for example, the body moves into protection mode. Okay, and what happens then is that the body seeks to protect that particular area of the body. Okay, and it can shut down connection to that area or to the body as a whole. So we lose this ability to even be aware of the language that the body is sending us, or it will cloud that message. It will try to protect us because maybe feeling and experiencing that pain, for example, is just too great. So in order to protect ourselves, that particular organ or part of the body that is linked to that particular emotion or person or place or thing might close off, so that your ability to work with that energy and that place in the body becomes much diminished. Your ability to be able to understand when things are working properly and when they're not, but also your ability to be able to connect to that pain, to that person, to that place, to that feeling, to that emotion will be diminished as well. And it's a protective mechanism. Okay, so our body's way of keeping us safe. If something feels too big, it's just not going to let us tolerate it. It's not going to let us suffer anymore. We've learned that before when we've been looking at the other nervous system module in particular. And what happens as a result is when we have this shutdown to a particular area, it reduces energy flow and distribution. So this also means it results in a lack or a reduction in intuition, into creativity, as I've already said, are the way that we communicate with our bodies backwards and forwards. And it can also, because of the tension and the energy blockage which your nervous system will now be percepting, it's going to tell the nervous system that we are not safe. Do not move back into ventral vagal. Do not relax because we need to stay on high alert. So if there's a part of your body that is really tense or tight, it's going to be sending a message to your nervous system that you are not safe. And over time, this is going to cause massive disruption in your physical and emotional health. We know how much the nervous system states influence how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. So, what we're going to learn in this module is movements that help us notice where we're blocked and where we're stuck, and also movement that's going to help us work to release them so that we can feel more confident, more connected, more alive, more in tune, more intuitive, more creative, but also our body is going to work fluidly and easily just the way that it is meant to.